Call me ambitious, but I'm going to try to solve the 6 most common problems you might be facing with your push-ups so you can make more use of them in your training. They're too hard, they're too easy, your wrist hurts, your elbow hurts, your shoulder hurts, or they're not fun. Here we go. Number 1, what if push-ups are too hard? If you can't go all the way down, all the way back up, and use them as a staple in your strength training, then you can elevate your hands. So just like, let's say, a heavy squat is too hard for you, you'd make the weight lighter. If you place your hands on something higher than the floor, you've got more weight in your feet, which means less weight in your hands, aka a lighter weight. Now you can get strong here as it becomes easy. You lower the elevation, find a lower and lower object until you work your way down to the floor. If push-ups have gotten too easy for you, congratulations, but also you can use the opposite approach by elevating the feet. So here, when your feet go up, you've got more weight forward on your hands, which is going to make the push-up even harder. A couple other strategies you can try. Make room to go further down in the push-up, so elevate your hands and your feet and let your chest go further past your hands, which again, more range, more challenge. And then finally, leaning forward. So in just a standard push-up on the floor, instead of going down where it's most natural, you can actually lean further forward, which will put way more of a challenge on the shoulders. If your wrist is bothering you in a push-up, one thing you can do is grab a mat and elevate the heel of the hand a bit higher. So this is going to create a less extreme angle at the wrist, or for a way less extreme angle, you can hold on to dumbbells or parallettes, handles of some kind, so that the wrist really doesn't have to move into extension for the push-up. If your elbows aren't feeling good with push-ups, one possibility is that what's happening is the way that you're going down is really bending the elbow a lot and putting more of the work into the elbows. So that would be a push-up something like this, which is totally fine if it does feel good for you, but if you're not used to that amount of load around the elbow, you can try leaning further forward, which will take more of the work into the shoulders, but you can see there's a less extreme angle at the elbow. So if you can't do that with your full body weight on the floor, you can elevate the hands in order to lean further forward. If one or both shoulders aren't feeling good, we're back here at the elevation. So this is one of the trickiest things to solve because the shoulders have so many different possibilities, but I'd recommend finding an easier variation to see if it does feel good. So if you can find a variation that works for you, awesome. You can gradually work your way down only to the point where it still feels good on the shoulders. But if you can't find a variation that feels good on your shoulders, I would find a different exercise. See if you can find some sort of dumbbell press or barbell press, something else that is a pushing type of movement that feels good. And if that doesn't work, I would talk to a professional. What if push-ups just aren't that fun for you? Maybe you get sick of going down and up and down and up over and over again. I have 2 key ideas here. Number 1 is the challenge point. You might just not be working at an optimal amount of challenge for you. So for example, if they've just gotten a little bit easy over time, they might get boring. Or if they're too hard, they might get frustrating. So you might consider going back to points number 1 and 2 to find a variation that's right at that right level of difficulty for you, where it's really hard but doable. And you might find it's not that boring. The second thing is adding a bit of movement. So for example, if you just get kind of bored like staying in one position and doing the same thing over and over again, you might try to find a variation that includes moving around or moving another object, something like this, or moving in space for real. So for instance, including some sort of crawling movement into your pushing, you might find more engaging. There you have it, everything you could ever want to know about push-ups, except one thing, which is you only get results from doing the work. So watch a video, learn a bunch of stuff, but ultimately, you gotta go do your push-ups if you want to get better at doing push-ups. If you have any questions about any of these 6 points, or if you're dealing with something other than the 6, you can shoot me a message at finemovement.com/contact. I'll put a link below.